Good evening, guys. We are here, we made it. We had glitches, but we, with the technology, there are so many ways to do things. So we are here. I won't waste much of your time. We have our professor there, and Comrade Kelvin Shimba will start with the Comrade Shimba. Can you introduce yourself as we proceed?
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you for having me, Madam Pumelo. Yes, my name is Kelvin Shimba. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana, USA. I'm a family man. I work and an individual that loves my country to the core, regardless of who is in power. I look forward to interacting with you and Dr. Kalonde. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. K, as I'm called by my students. I'm a professor at Montana State University. I spoke with you, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday on our show. I love that I've ganged up again with the Chimba and the Wapumulo. Wapumulo, as I said, we go all the way back to Itwe, then Ndola, then California, now here on the show. Kelvin, we go back. You went to the school where I taught at Mkoba Secondary School. So we are here again to help our nation stand up and really realize what is supposed to realize as a nation. So, Papumulo, thank you so much for bringing us together.
Thank you so much. The honor is Ubuntu Forum. We are honored to have you gentlemen to join us as we fight to educate Zambians. And the goal is to have an economically free country to end poverty in Zambia. That is the goal. We are not here for personal attacks or attacking this party or that party. We are here to offer checks and balances to ensure that whatever government is in place, they are making the right decision in the interest of Zambians, because Zambia is a rich country. We are the 7th largest producer of top grade copper in the world. We are the 2nd largest producer in Africa. We have the biggest nickel mine in Africa, among many other precious stones, sugilite, lithium, cobalt, you name it, we have it. But the wealth does not translate to the quality of life that we live as Zambians. So I think the time has come. After 60 years of independence, every well-meaning Zambian should think twice. And because 60 years, as if we compare it to a human being, when you are reached 60 years, you should have worked and retired and start eating from what you have worked for. But Zambia, we have been producing and producing, and the Lord has blessed us to more wealth. And as the Lord is blessing Zambia with more wealth, we have seen the escalation of looting and the just marginalization of the youth and women and the general population at large. So our topics today, we are going to talk about everything, because our gentlemen here, I am so humbled and honored that they have stepped up to add to our voice, which is much needed. We are going to look at the police brutality in the latest case of the policemen covering their faces. And that is not the way we should see police officers in a police service. Police officers who, as we have Zambia's police service, should not cover their faces, should not be masquerading with AK-47. That is very intimidating and traumatic to adults, especially children. We are not in a war zone, so the police brutality has gone to a next level where it is normal to see policemen, fully armed policemen with AK-47, like they are in a war zone. We are here to condemn that. We are also condemning the opposition of the brutality to opposition leaders. And then, of course, the mines, our gentlemen will chip in, and their lies. We have a government of unapologetic liars, a government of rude and just unprofessional language is coming from our rulers. And we condemn that. Yeah, we are not your children. You were given power by the vote, and you being in office does not give you the right to be insulting people verbally. It's a verbal abuse day and night from our leaders trickling down to our sons and daughters who come and abuse me here. And we need to condemn that. Taxes, we have seen mine companies given tax concession, tax holidays, but now ZRA is going to go door to door. Quite in Congole, door to doors. ZRA has been ordered to go door to door to collect taxes from people. I'm like, you have no shame. You are going to tax a woman who's selling tomato and the people looting our resources, vendetta. We saw Kabuswe come in and say that Vendetta will not pay taxes for 4 years. And then the economy at large. Kwacha is trading at the highest since it was born. Ubunga is how much? People are buying Ubunga 300-400. And I'm sorry to say, some of these ministers, they are not honorable. So for me, I will take away that prefix honor. I will not call them honorable. I will just call them by their first name. Because I think Africa, we have to stand up and call a spade a spade. We cannot continue calling men who are behaving in an dishonorable way honorable. So I don't know between the two of you. The floor is yours. Me, I've been talking on this page. I'm tired. So I am just here to say, oh, thank you, Jesus. Finally, I have help. Take it away.
I spoke a lot yesterday, and I think Shimba has also some additions to what we are going to discuss, more especially that you wanted to touch on the economy of the country and the issues that Mulungushi, that is Mulungushi get, the situation that transpired there. So, but Shimba, nalale kati mwe mbadlepo bakalamba na tasha sana.
Madam Pumula, thank you for inviting me. I think for me, this is a great opportunity for us to interact with our people. And I want to assure our people that there's a lot of objectivity in some of the things we say. We may belong to a certain political persuasion, but we must know as Zambians that when we were born, first day on earth, we never belonged to a political party. First day on earth, we belonged to Zambia. That's the reason why we have to love Zambia before we love a political party. Okay? Having said that, President Hichilema was overwhelmingly voted into office by the people of Zambia. And the reason they did that was because he sent out a message which resonated with them, a message that he was an economic manager, a message that he would end corruption, a message that he would revamp the tax regime in the country and provide economic progress, a message that Millie Meal would be 50 kwacha. Nobody forced him, nobody. That fuel will be cheaper. But the things that the people of Zambia are seeing today are different. And it is up to us Zambians, whether you are UPND, PF, NDC, Citizens First, Socialist Party, UNIP, I don't care. The fact is, the current economy is biting all of us. Some of you may say that you are in the diaspora, you are not impacted by the economy. Well, guess what? I have relatives in Zambia. If during PF I supported 10 relatives and today I have to support 40, then something is wrong. Numbers do not lie. And Mwebena Zambia, it's okay to ask for accountability from our leaders. Ichalo ba mipela ni chimulimo. Tapaka bena chimbi chalo echo baka mipela echo mukaya asosako. You are in Zambia to question some of the things that your government is doing, things that are not working for you, the masses. Your participation in politics is not just to vote in leaders. No. Your participation in politics is an everyday thing because political decisions impact the economy, impact social justice in the country. So, there are certain things that you must not speak about because of party affiliation, support because of party affiliation. No. Zambia is a well-endowed country with mineral wealth, with arable land. Why is it that 59 years after independence, we still have people in Kanyama using pit latrines? Why is it that we have people in rural areas who cannot access clean drinking water? Ninshi bane, ninshi ashupa, ninshi ashupa. Why is it that we are very quick to bring in foreign investors to dig up our minerals, make them rich at the expense of Ifwe Fwebantu? On the question of minerals, President Hakainde Hichilema, please sit with your ministers, look each other in the eyes with honesty, and ask yourselves, what is it that we want to do for the Zambian people? How best can we do it? How can we protect and preserve the mineral wealth that's in the ground for the Zambian people? How can this benefit the Zambian people? When President Kaunda implemented the Zambianization policy, the nationalization policy, it was because he recognized the fact that we need industries in our country owned at least by Zambia and Zambians. Okay? And the reason is very simple. Those industries contribute to a solid manufacturing base. They contribute to foreign exchange earning. They contribute to enhancement of employment. They contribute to access to funding locally. President Hichilema, revisit your mining policies, please. Please, revisit your mining policies. What you need to do is aggressively buy back no less than 51% shares in the mining companies. There's money in Zambia. There are minerals in Zambia. That is a fact. Buy back at least 51% of shares in mining, in gold mining, copper mining, cobalt, coal, searchlight. The reason that will be important for a country like Zambia is that we will be able to retain revenue. these investors that you clamor for, they mine in our country, they sell the copper abroad, and they keep the profits abroad. The only money that seeds itself back into Zambia is for operations and maintenance. No innovation. We cannot be satisfied as a country just earning salaries. We cannot. Tapali chimbi charo chaitwa Zambia echo balesa bakapanga takwakabe charipwa. It's what you have that God placed in this country that you must harness and preserve and protect and guard jealously. Ababasungu muyako bonse abokweba ati chibefi ababasungu tapali ofo bakatuchitila fwebe na Zambia tapali. Those white people will show you white teeth because they want your minerals. Look at the situation in Niger. Niger has been paying royalties to France since independence. Haiti has been paying royalties to France since independence. The Democratic Republic of Congo has been paying royalties to Belgium since independence. How is it that these countries that are endowed with precious minerals can end up so poor? It lies in political will. It lies in the decisions that you politicians are making. Mr. President, this is not an indictment on you alone. It is an indictment starting from President Chiluba up until President Lungu, because we have not been brave enough as a country to put our foot down and say, these are our minerals. If we cannot own 100%, let's own at least 51%. We saw the wonders that Zambia consolidated copper mines. For those that were born after ZCCM, we had Zambia consolidated copper mines. We owned 51% shareholding. ZCCM had the best corporate social responsibility. Where I grew up in Nkana West in Kitwe, twalikweta malaiti mumusebo. Nga yapwe balbu baisa n'ababika kutitafe report twalikweta emisebo mukitwe mu Nkana West mwale nunkila. You go to Nkana West today and look at the dilapidated roads. Mr. President, there's one musician who sang a song which I would like you to play, and play it until you understand the message. One Nathan Nyerenda, Amakufi. Listen to that song objectively. It will touch your heart. It will help you change what is happening and what must happen in our country. We may belong to different political persuasions, but our love is not for party. Our love is for the country. It hurts to see people suffering because we do not have leadership that is concerned about the plight of those that are suffering. Yes, you may have inherited a myriad of problems, but you're the economic manager. Give us solutions. It's a challenge to you. Meet your people. Stop flying around. Meet your people and explain to your people what is going on and what the solutions are. Mr. President, we do not expect you to come up with solutions overnight, but talk to us. Tell us. And if we fire back and say, but that is not a solution, Mr. President, listen. No man possesses the monopoly of knowledge. No one. Not me, not Kalonde, not Madam Pumi, not you, Mr. President, not even your ministers. We have to have a collective approach to progress in our nation. On the political front, Mr. President, yes, we know some of the things that happened to you during the PF, yes, we know they were not fair. Some others are debatable. It's just a fact. But you be the bigger person. Show us you can be the bigger person. Show us that you abhorred police brutality against the opposition. Show us by your actions. We appeal not just for our individual selves, but we appeal for the good of the country. We cannot afford to live in the past every year. Mr. President, whenever a new party is voted into office, is a breath of fresh hope for the Zambian people to think that this new government is going to address this, that, this will improve. Countries that have developed have recognized the importance of the opposition. They have recognized the importance of the opposition. You, Mr. President, must be a champion of democracy. You have to be a champion of the Constitution. You swore to uphold the Constitution. Let the opposition parties meet with potential voters. We should not fight physically, but we should fight on the basis of ideas. Let the opposition go and explain to the people what they can do different from what you are doing. And you have an opportunity to go and meet those same potential voters and explain to them what you are doing and why you are doing it. Please leave a legacy. President Kenneth Kaunda left a legacy of gaining us independence and setting up industries in the country. President Chiluba left us with a legacy of free speech. President Michael Sata left a legacy of infrastructure development. What legacy? What legacy do you want to leave us with, Mr. President? We are your people. When you do right, we will support you because it benefits our country. If we do not agree with you, it doesn't mean we are your enemies. No. As the adage says, no man is an island. And no one possesses the monopoly of knowledge. in God's wisdom, he created billions of human beings reproducing. In his wisdom, he could have created only one human being to run the whole earth. So my appeal to you is, listen to dissenting views. Call your cabinet. Sit in cabinet, Mr. President. Look each other in the eyes. And with a deep conscience, ask yourselves, are we doing right by the Zambians? Remind yourselves, Mr. President, that when in opposition, you made promises. We are eager to see those promises fulfilled. We are eager. Because once you fulfill those promises, guess who's benefiting? The Zambian people. And the Zambian people in 2026 will say, this guy made such promises and he fulfilled. We have a great leader. They will vote for you. Right now, your greatest opposition, Mr. President, is not the PF, is not the Socialist Party, is not the Citizens First. It's not the EEF. It's the Zambian people who you promised. That is your greatest opposition. And the Zambian people will have a say in 2026. Thank you, Madam Pumo.
Thank you. Professor Kalonde, the floor is yours.
I don't know how to follow Chimba on this one, but I will try. The first thing that I would love to ask the people of Zambia and everybody who's watching us right now is, I like things the way other parts of the world handle them in one or another. But I want to ask the people of Zambia, I want to ask the people who are watching right now, are you better off today than you were 2 years ago? Are you better off today than you were 2 years ago? In answering that question, don't look just at yourself. You need to look at the person next to you, your neighbor, your workmate, your friend, your girlfriend. When I say your girlfriend, I mean the American way, where females call their female friends as girlfriend. Your sisters, your brothers, are you better off today than you were 2 years ago? This is in terms of our economy. Shimba has touched on the promises that were given freely by the opposition by then, UPND, that when they come to the office, they will do A, B, C, D for the nation. The question that comes up again is, have they fulfilled any of those promises? And if they've not fulfilled those promises, why don't we ask them why? What is troubling them in fulfilling these promises? Why are they failing? Is it the people of Zambia that are making it difficult for them to fulfill these promises? Is it themselves that are failing to handle the economic difficulties that come with the domestic processing of goods or the international processing of goods? That's what we should ask ourselves. The global economy, we know that can be tough. But look at the global economy and how things are going smoothly in these other countries. Why is our currency going down, down, down? It's like spiraling to the bottomless pit. So when we discuss these things, when everybody is not enjoying the benefits of being a Zambian, it's not fair for people to be arrested for mentioning these things to the nation. It's wrong. It's wrong. If UPND think that they are right, you can't be right when you are exactly wrong. It's impossible. It's impossible. You know, one other thing that I look at in Zambia, these international corporations are making a lot of money, a lot of money. And when Shimba touched on ZCCM, I do remember how ZCCM were building houses for the people to work for them. That how ZCCM was the best for the soccer teams in the country. In Canada, there was Fulla Wanderers and Changa Rangers, Concola Braids, name it. Even Kalusha had the Kalush Modern Stars. Chambishi, they had the Venach Kwara coming from there. You look at what ZCCM was doing, using its social responsibility, and look at how our minds, how they are amassing wealthy, but nothing is going back to the people. I look at that, then I'm like, we are 18 million people with such vast mineral resources, natural resources. Why are we still poor? Why are we still poor? If we ever asked ourselves, or if we ever thought of ourselves as being poor, or we've been lying to ourselves that we are okay, we are rich. Chishimba touched on pity latrines in some locations. Yesterday, I touched on water, and our water just flows into the Indian Ocean. All these are because of the governments that we have always had. I do remember yesterday, I talked about my generation and how it has failed the nation. But it's not just our generation, it is our government. Our governments are failing, but this government, the unfortunate part is in these 2 years, I'm sorry, but I haven't yet seen anything that they've done. If there's somebody who has seen something tangible, really tangible, not a small road that goes to somebody's house. I want to see things that are benefiting everybody in the country economically. I touched on Saudi Arabia and how they finance, I guess, more than 1 million of people coming to US to come and study, young men and women. And you know, and the fortunate part is that a woman leaving Saudi Arabia was being escorted either by a brother or a father to come and live with her until she graduates. And the government kept on paying the father his salary as he was watching over his daughter because of cultural tendencies that they have. They know how they want to handle their girl child. That's not our issue. But they paid for the parents to look after their daughters. They paid a brother to come and be with a sister. The guy would be playing soccer almost the whole day, but he gets paid to keep himself fit. That is how they run their economy. On the issue of police brutality, I think the government must change its course on strengthening our institutions. If our institutions are going to have every desk at State House, then those institutions are weak. Because who's supervising them? That executive officer in that building. At a certain point, I remember Kelvin saying, we must change the way we appoint our Inspector General for the police. She mentioned that some time back, maybe 2-3 years ago, I still remember that. We should change the way we deal with our Inspector General. Let them be independent. The three arms of the government must be totally independent, not the way things are right now. People must realize that governance is not the way somebody looks at you or somebody the way he approaches issues by the way he thinks alone. It should be done as a collective bargaining whereby we all have a say in whatever is taking place. If you are going to shut me down just because I'm saying something that is not in tune with what you want, then I don't know if that is democracy. I said I fought for this democracy. I fought for this multi-party politics in Zambia. I do believe at that point, if anything had happened, UNIP had won, maybe those who were grown by then would tell what would have happened to us that we were fighting Wakeke. I don't know what he would have done, but the fact was, I was blind at that point, totally blind. All I wanted was a change. So I was ready to sacrifice my job, my family, and myself. At that time, there was no Kalonde. There was Zambia. At that time, there was no MMD alone. There was Zambia. So when Shimba talks about, let's do this as Zambians, it is about Zambia, not about Pumulo, not about Shimba, not about Mamamachika Monica, not about Mark Zulu, not about anybody, not even myself. This is about Zambia, our country. 18 million people. I don't think I should be seeing somebody suffering in the country. I'm telling you. The number is too small to have starving people. 18 million with the resources we have. I'm telling you, everybody, we should be seeing like they see in Dubai, like they see in Saudi Arabia. Bank accounts of $500,000. Citizens had $500,000 bank account. In Zambia, how much do we have in our bank accounts? If we do have a bank account. Very few can even talk about having a checking account. It's unfortunate that we have done this to the country. We should stop it. Yes, madam.
So I just want to tell people, I just received a phone call. My page is lost, so the people can't see the page. So tag people. If you know there's somebody that you want to be part of this live, tag them. And how you tag them, you put the @ and the name highlights, and then in the comments, just tag people. You can put a hashtag or put the @ sign and the name of, then they'll be able to see the show. So that's that I wanted to say. Thank you.
So to cut my long story short, I'm really happy that we are doing this for Mother Zambia, and at the same time, please do not look at us or do not look at Pumulo as the enemy. The first enemy that we have is failure. The second enemy that we have is poor economy. The third failure that in my case I have is seeing people go hungry. The next failure that I have is our education system. Are people learning what they are supposed to be learning? Or they are learning things that are useless in their lives? There are some other issues that I would like maybe Madam Pumi to guide us. The issue of Mlungush Gate, the issue of our speaker. So, Madam Pumi, back to you.
Thank you so much. Yes, Kelvin.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, before we talk about Mulungushi Gate, I want to piggyback off of Dr. Kalonde on police brutality. My people, the police does not exist to brutalize citizens. Vakapokola tababako ukwebati vale puma ama citizens mwe bantu besu mufwire mwaishiva ama rights yenu, mufwire mwaishiva nangu na upango mulandu tevakapokola bakuma bauma awe. You are innocent until proven guilty by a competent court of law, and we have courts of law mu Zambia. Vane mwebale kutika ifi kapokola akabule akakume ukayefwaya fye baloya nokuchita su ubuteko vakapokola inchito yavo kuchita maintain law and order. What is the part of the law that they have to maintain? It is enshrined in the Constitution and the Penal Code. Tuleke tet tule ikale chalo nga wamona bakapokola wa shishima. No, tefyo babelako. That's why the UPND government, please invest money in educating, one, the police service, two, the people of Zambia about their rights. You have to institute community programs, police and community programs, which will assure and give confidence to the people of Zambia that the police is there to protect us, not to brutalize us. Police brutality should have remained at 1964, 23rd October, when the colonialists were governing us, and because they did not want us to agitate for independence. But on and after October 24th, the police service should have been transformed to perform the role of serving the communities. Today, we have people who are brutalized by the police for petty offenses, interrogated to confess a crime they did not commit. Where is the Human Rights Commission. Where? What do they do? What do they do? A country whose citizenry is brutalized by the police will be afraid to speak out. That's not a country we should be proud of. No. A country whose citizenry speak against the language of the government in a respectful way is brutalized, is arrested. The case of a caller, I think that was in Kabwe, if I'm not mistaken, the gentleman calls to ask a permanent secretary, a CEO of the province. But you were the ones that were making these promises. Why is fuel high? Why is meal? And he is verbally abused and arrested? President HH, that permanent secretary must be fired. If you are a man, if you are a man of your word, that permanent secretary must be fired.
Can I add something here, at Shimba?
Yes.
With regard to the police brutality and the community policing, actually, you have observed what Shimba in some of these Western countries. The colonialists had a very good agenda to isolate the police from the community. That way, the police are feared. And once they are given orders, then they will look at the people in the community as their enemies because they are not interacting with them every day. In this Western world, the police are our neighbors. We play basketball together. We go and play baseball together. We throw frisbees together. Sometimes we go hiking in the mountains together. That is what police community policing is.
Yeah.
We need, yes.
Sorry, there's a Mark Zulu with a hand up. If you want to give him an opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
No, let him finish. Let you finish, then I'll come in. I'll just raise it in advance.
Okay. So when we look at such community policing, we see how we relate with our police. We see how we communicate and get in contact with our police because they are part of our communities. They know, and anybody in the neighborhood, I had spring break. 1 week, na California, Mkwangala, drove. 1 week I came back, Nashida, my window open, Nashida door open. The only visitors I had in my house was the dust that had got in through the window. That's the only thing that I found as my visitors in my house. Because nobody is thinking of breaking. How do you just go and break in somebody's house? Now, I'm gone. That is what community policing can do. We have a relationship with the police. But in Zambia, you have people wearing like Magorilla or fighters, pitching up there on the trucks. Amahamvi. That is very dangerous for the community. I saw that yesterday. I talked about it yesterday, and I'm talking about it today. Please, police, that is part of the discussion. Please stop hiding. Stop hiding. Kapukana fala kumenso mune mona famenso kwatina limo ni ele ku kuna nikuda muku pepa ku mosque ya ku no tefochiva awe. That's not how and we are not in Alaska or where it is very cold to my skin. No, we can't be dressing like that. There is only one reason for that. It's because you are brutal, you don't want people to know you. The president must talk to the police chief to say, stop having your police officers dress like they are in a war front. The other thing about police brutality at Shimba is the issue of AK-47s. Police must have small handguns on their waists. Not hose-on guns. Let them have pistols for them to walk around on the beat. Let them leave their guns in their vehicles, not picked up the truck there, anymore, ready to shoot. That is wrong. We can't be doing that. We cannot continue doing that. Well, Zulu, you can go ahead now. Thank you so much for waiting.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and it's been a pleasure listening. Yesterday, I listened to you, Kanabesa, and I couldn't just join in. I had some issues. Even today, there is no power here, but we are trying since morning. And you know, a situation where you are in the dark and any form of communication from these guys is just buffering. Looking at this time of the year or century where these things have to be communicated. And these are some of the things that we as citizens, we don't take to heart or think about them, but we pay for this service, and we are the customers, and we need to be told to say, okay, this is the situation. I think where you are, all of you there, you cannot go 1 hour without a communication from the suppliers to say, oh, this is what is going on. And here we are taken like, kwatini nkumba, where you cannot even question, you don't even know what is going on, you are just in the dark 2 days. These are some of the things that I think we can look at, and I won't talk much. I have just shared something, those who are following live on Facebook, I think I've shared something that I wrote some time back. I would do something to do with patriotism to the nation. I was perplexed today when I saw a certain man. I'm not talking about an individual, but I want to talk about what happened. Here we are, all of us, we are talking, some of us, we are being called Mushanina, na Mukalipa, or Chirishani. But I want to look at the word patriotism. If I condemned PF or I condemn UPND, and I'm given a job or I'm given an envelope and I accept, I start apologizing, then my talking here is nothing but baseless. Why I'm saying so is I saw, is it Dr. Patson? Someone to remind me the name. He is based in Mukusho, Kapiri. The man who was like left in the cold by the UPND government, and he was talking against this government. He was pointing out the ills of this government, naming them one by one, and today I was surprised him giving an apology for doing the right thing. And now I question myself to say, where is Mr. Thompson? Yes, Mr. Thompson Kunda. I ask myself, where is the patriotism? Kanabesa, if I was to ask you to say, today you receive a call to say, no, Mr. Chishimba or Mr. whoever is here, Mr. Zulu, we have an appointment for you. You can go to Australia. And I start apologizing.
Kutinakana in Zulu.
So That is why I'm saying we need to look at the word in detail. What is patriotism? Is patriotism only considered when you are hungry because you need to eat? And when you start talking, it means you are patriotic. When you are given an envelope, you lose your senses. We've been talking from a long time ago. Some of us, our voices have been so low that we've never even been heard. You know, you weigh the situations to say, look, here I can talk, here I can just do this. But we've seen that where we are going is like it's a dead end. You can't even see where you are going. And so our voices have become audible. There is a posting or there is a write-up I did that I've posted here. And you touched a bit on it, like you just read on it, but I've just done the comment there, where I said politics and fame also to do with appointments. I mentioned, and you touched a point where we need to change the way we appoint these office bearers, especially the IG. For me, I've been preaching to say in Zambia, we don't have the constitution. And a lot of people think, no, he's mad, but that is the truth of the whole matter. We don't have a constitution. We just inherited our colonial masters' handbook that they used to rule over us. Hence, when you look at the way we are being ruled by our fellow Zambians, we think like we are being ruled by a white person because that was what they intended to govern us with. Those rules that are there are for the governor because they were untouchable. But these are our people. When campaign time comes, we eat with them. Immediately we vote for them, everything changes. They become gods, they become druids, they become demigods, we worship them. Things have to change. And we cannot go on in this way, amending or mending the constitution. It has to be overhauled. Let not any MP get a position of a minister. It's insulting those people who have been in government for 20, 30 years. I'm a technocrat in the Ministry of Energy. I know everything to do with fuel, and someone comes in from the street because he had some money, he has bribed the way to this office, and he has been appointed as the energy minister. I have to start reporting to that person who has no idea of how that system should run. This is why we keep coming. I don't even have a better word to say. We keep on just going back and back.
Vazuku.
You know,
I don't know if it's Zulu. He left my Zuku. Okay. Sorry to cut you short, but before I forget, I want to respond to your contributions on the civil service and the police. I've always advocated, and this started when President Michael Sata, may he so rest in peace, was in opposition. He came on a radio show and I said, Vasata, when you become president, we need to curtail the powers of the president. He got mad, he got angry. What powers? What are you talking about? You don't understand this, that. Okay, great. Fine. My opinion, nobody else's. My opinion is that the president must not appoint permanent secretaries. Let's change it. We put it there, right? We can change it as a people. And here's a simple reason. A PS is the chief executive officer of that particular ministry. With regard to PSs at provincial level, they're the CEO of the province. The president must not appoint PSs. Why? Because these PSs must work on the basis of what is really needed in a ministry and not pander to the appointing authority. Permanent secretaries must undergo a competitive interview process with proper traceable qualifications. Proper traceable qualifications. Underline that. And the reason is a person with proper administrative knowledge will be able to say, look, this policy your party wants to implement will go against what this ministry was established for. Kalonde spoke about my vehement opposition to the president appointing the Inspector General of Police. I still stand by that. The kind of democratic dispensation in the country is too weak to have an IG appointed by the president. As a matter of fact, an Inspector General of Police, for now, must be appointed through a competitive interview process until we change the constitution and say an Inspector General of Police will be elected by the people of Zambia. Because if this individual is elected by the people of Zambia, he or she will not be answerable to a politician. And that is the only way to guarantee transparency and objectivity in the police. I have always said the president should not appoint the Director General of the ACC. Look at what has happened now. The office is under State House. We can't have those things. The president should not appoint the Director General of the DEC. No. Let's do the right thing, Mwebantu. Last part, I don't want to monopolize this. Last part is on the question of ZESCO. ZESCO Managing Director. I think it's, remind me, it's Mr. Mapani?
Yes, please.
ZESCO Managing Director. Please. Please. Sit down with your management and look at your corporate processes. Please. Electricity connection fees have been increased 100-fold. If I pay, I'm building, I pay that 4,800, 4,900. Why should it take 9 months for you to come and connect the electricity? No, 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 no. Step back, please. Step back. Mwekwata kwensoni fimwe fintu. Sorry, Bamdala. Muleta draw ama salaries mwe on time every month. Do you know what you were doing by delaying the connection of new applications? There are people who build because they want to rent out their structures. They can't for 9 months because mule kokola.
Right now, Shimba, let me not cut you short. Right now, I have someone who has called me from Eastern Province because they have been delayed to be connected, and now they want to purchase solar panels.
You see, please, okay. I'll stop here, but let me ask a question to you, Zuku, Dr. Kalonde, Madam Pumulo. Let me ask you a question. Please give me the name of one sector in the Zambian economy that operates efficiently. Don't worry, I'll wait.
Let me just finalize on my points that I was drawing closer before they slide off my mind. So I was actually talking about patriotism, and then you came in, and I touched a bit of how we should align the governments. Because if I was to ask all of us here, what is Zambia's plan for the next 50 years? I don't know. Even for the next 10 years, I don't know. And this is the reason why we are into that mess, because we have allowed political parties to rule us and not the government. We have allowed the political party to come with its own ideas. Like you said, any political party that comes into power needs to just follow what has been laid by the government. And we don't have a government because these government people who are the ministers, the PSCs, are appointed by the coming in president or the party that is coming into power. So until they are appointed, then that's when they start planning, which shouldn't be the case. This is why sometimes also we see that when we are on an election year, almost everything comes to a standstill. We don't need that situation to continue. We need ministers who are technocrats, who are not politicians. We need to have them vetted and appointed by the MPs we vote. They need to vote for these MPs. There is a term they call it. Is it out of parliament government or whatever you call it? But there must be a name. I've just forgotten it. So I think we need to rethink our way of government. We need to rethink the constitution. The economy right now, I don't know if it's breathing or it's in ICU or it's where, but it's not even shaking. It's just there. For me, I don't know how hard we are told to work hard, but I don't know how hard I should put in, because I start 06, my head aches until I sleep. The only thing that relieves my pain is when I come on such podiums like this and then talk, then my pain goes off. And I know tomorrow I wake up without a 10 kwacha for my data or for my kids. But we are like, I don't know. It's like I'm just somewhere else, not home, not in my country, where I've gone to look for a life. You know, this is where we are now. We cannot have a situation where nothing, no any area, or like you have asked, no any ministry or department, nowhere where you can go to say, okay, now here things are happening, you know, because of the same about the same corruption. You go here, you find the same politicians are doing this. You get frustrated, you go here. So we really don't know even where some of these who are still clapping, where they are getting the hopes from. You know, and this is where we need to be very, very careful with how we are trading as in politics. Because I don't know where people even get the courage to start supporting something. Like yesterday, is it yesterday? We saw a lot of people clapping for the CDF police vehicles. I said, oh gosh, oh gosh. We have defective medicines in hospital, and you go and prioritize police vehicles for God. Please, doctor, can you pick it up?
On that, comrade, not even defective vehicle, rotten, fake, expired drugs. And the cancer center, the machines have been down. right now, cancer centers, cancer patients, they have to go out of the country. So these are the things, guys. We will be here, we'll be talking, you know, bringing light to these things that have been overshadowed with this personalized glorification of brutalizing the police. You know, the police is brutalized and weaponized, and we need to change so we stay on track. Sorry, Zulu, and also before you came in, Kelvin was talking about what has Zambia done, what achievement has Zambia done so far that seems to be working. And this is a question, it's kind of an irony, because we saw Mizingamelu was awarded an award for being the best CEO bank, the best CEO of a bank in Africa. I don't know if it's Absa Bank, whatever that bank is, she was awarded to be the best CEO in Africa. Now, the question that I beg to ask is, how can you award such an award to the worst performing currency in the world? Isn't this contradictory, Mwevan? Like, are we really serious? We Zambians, we are even clapping. I saw that and I was, Kalonde, you are on mute. I saw that, I'm like, we Zambians, we need to wake up and we need to stop clapping for anything. How can somebody who's representing a country with the worst performing currency in the world be a best CEO in the world? So we see that, yes.
Let me answer you on that one. You know how your media works? I mean your media where you are. Your Western media houses, the way they work is they want to portray a very good picture here to say we are doing all well, everything is all fine because they are benefiting. You know, it's like they call it mind over mind. If you are going through a problem, you know that I can even take an advantage of your problem so I can have something. So they have already brainwashed us, but they want to keep us in that place of being brainwashed and believe that everything is okay. They talk so nice about a place they want to harm because them they are benefiting, and they want us now to believe things are okay. But I think things have changed now. Thanks for IT. We are able to see, we are able to hear at the same time. Even if they are signing some of these MOUs behind closed doors, you know, you cannot hide everything. You cannot. And we are seeing what is exactly happening.
Okay, so, thank you. Yeah. Can you close up?
I wanted to say,
to the other
I wanted to say,
yeah.
yes, I wanted to say something with regard to mastetu machalala panga yakweva tivalipela mawadzi kubantu and you don't see why. You know, some of these things we must understand the way banks operate. Most of the banks don't operate to lend out money to black folks or African people. And if one person achieves that in the country, they would award them for doing that. It is possible that some awards are for making sure that Kelvin and yourself do not borrow, or if Kelvin and yourself borrow, they borrow at 40% interest rate, 30% interest rate, which means maybe after 2 years, you are going to lose your project to the bank and they sell it. They make money out of it. It is just a scam, and people know that's how banks operate on our continent. And some people are getting awards for doing such a thing to their own people. It's difficult. Now, I want to say something about the police and about the stuff that is taking place in the country. I would urge that we as Zambians we start now looking for solutions. We start looking for solutions for what we should do tomorrow. Yes, we have cried enough. People have cried enough. People have suffered enough. Stated a lot of things. That's why at one point I had to stand up on the podium and say, and the other thing that we need to do is, as Zambians, let's please do one thing. See something, say something. We are too quiet. When you see something and nobody says something about it, then it goes like it was right. When it's not right, it's not right. Say something. And at the same time, some of these things, they work very well if you take a video and you post that video. We know that our police are brutal. They might not allow you to take a video of something taking place, but we need to do something. Even in obscurity, we must start recording what is happening around us. Otherwise, there is nothing that we can do as a nation. We must start working on solutions, and these solutions must change the trajectory of the development of the country. And the youth, once the youth is taken, you are done. There is no country. Okay, thank you. Bazuku has his hand up.
Well, I just wanted to respond to you. That's why I'm here. We have seen and we have heard something, and that's why we are talking. And I can assure you that a lot of Zambians are talking. But if you recall very well, I actually started by castigating Watopson, and that is not happening only to him. We have lost the patriotism. That's where I started from when I joined in. Whoever starts talking, they are approached by envelopes or either by a gun to shut you down. Don't talk, or by taking you to police cells. You see? But again, it all depends with the principles of someone and how you have taken your patriotism with you. So a lot of us will be shut. Maybe tomorrow you won't even hear me if I receive the brown envelope. I'll be quiet. So how do we make sure to say we are not bought? The other thing I think I would suggest is, I don't know what we can do. A lot of our youth, even those who are talking, those who are at least speaking on social media, blah, 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 our musicians, they can talk, but they don't have much knowledge out there. Let's encourage us to read. No, very few of us even know one clause in the Constitution. We don't. And I think that is also a weakness that we have. You know, we just move by the wind. And when they say, and we start now saying this, you have broken the law here, you have broken the law, we become scared. But if we have stood by the law to say, no, this is this, like on the helipad issue, which is maybe even dying a natural death, no one is talking about it. You know? If we stood to say, no, this was wrong, you broke this law, I'm sure, you know, sometimes me, I get so emotional. That's why sometimes I prefer just listening.
Okay, thank you, comrade. Well, Kelvin, you can come in.
Yes. So, Mazulu, I mean, you have a very valid point when you talk about Watopson Kunda, that you know, today he can come out and apologize. Obviously, maybe because he's been promised position, maybe he's been greased, but patriotism must transcend that. It must. And I think for us as a country, the way we can, or how we can reach that level is if we turned around the 83% unemployment rate to maybe around 15%. And here's why. I think if people have a source of income, the majority of our people have a source of income, they're not going to pay particular attention to somebody trying to bribe them to speak a certain political language. They won't. You understand? Without making express comparisons, here, people work, they earn their own money. If a politician says ABCD, you don't agree, you speak out. You won't vote for that person. You understand? That person is not even going to come and say, here's $2,000, please vote for me.
Remember,
No.
Trump tried to do that.
Exactly.
Trump
Exactly.
in the marginalized communities. He bought food and trucks, and they put it on speaker, come and get free food. They started booing him and shooting him on camera. Yes. They captured him. He's like, look at him, he has come to bribe us.
Right. So those things won't happen in our country if we turned around the unemployment numbers. Okay, that's that. But I really wanted to talk about taxes. Okay, taxes regarding the mines and the income tax regime in our country. Okay, let me start with the mines. It's folly for government to think that they can improve the strength of the Zambian kwacha without, first of all, a manufacturing base. It's folly. Secondly, it's folly to think that you can improve the strength of the kwacha against the dollar if you're giving tax holidays to these mines when we are supposed to be earning money from them. And before we galvanize and decide to buy back at least 51% shareholding in these mines, we must make them pay the requisite taxes. We must. There should be no compromise, because that tax for now is what we as a country will appreciate as revenue. The late Ngandu Magande and Levi Mwanawasa introduced the windfall tax. That year alone, Zambia was able to receive $500 million. $500 million. That was something better than nothing. So the new government must seriously look into reversing these tax holidays. And talking about taxes, it was very, very disappointing to hear the Minister of Mines, first of all, announce a deal with Vedanta to the public. Secondly, on behalf of Vedanta, tell the public without shame that Vedanta will not make profits for 4 years. That's unheard of. That's unbelievable. That went right to my heart. It pierced my heart. That night, I asked myself, why? What is wrong with us? What is so wrong with us? A minister representing corporate interests. That was sad. And lastly, on the question of taxes, because for the UPND government, in order to curtail inflation, rising inflation in the country, they have elected to restrict currency flow. They have instructed banks to increase their reserve ratios, meaning banks will not lend out money to small and medium enterprises and individuals. There'll be less money in circulation. One, Banks make money by lending that money out. 2, small and medium businesses enhance their businesses by being able to have access to funding through loans. So when you implement this policy, what is it that you're doing to your own businesses? What the UPND government must do, instead of giving tax holidays to these foreigners, they must have a tax moratorium for 5 years for small and medium businesses in the country. Established small and medium enterprise businesses that report their taxes to the Zambia Revenue Authority. They have a database who has been reporting, okay, for the next 5 years, no taxes, on condition that when this is effective, you tell us you have 10 employees. By 12 months later, you will have 20 employees. By the end of this 5-year tax moratorium, you would have hired 100, 150 people on condition. That's how you grow the SMEs. That's how you grow the economy.
Mr. Kelvin, let me just add a bit.
Before I forget.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Yeah.
It's just on that same one.
The last point. Just write it down if you can.
Write it down. I think it's better so that we have
the last point is, Mr. President, you have the instruments of power. You have all the tools in the civil service. Work with ZAMSTAT, Zambia Statistical Office, I think the former CSO, Zambia Statistics Agency. Okay? Ask them, what would be the impact on government revenue if we reduced pay as you earn? What would be the impact on government revenue if we created tax brackets? If you make 4,000 kwacha a month, at least pay 5%.
0.
And the reason I say this is that when Mr. Zulu talks about patriotism also should be showed by you paying your requisite share of taxes to your country. So if you make 4,000, you will pay 5%. If you make 400,000, you pay 20%. Cap it at some level. Cap it at 20% and go down. Implement that. Because the current wholesale situation is not helpful. How much of somebody's paycheck is going towards pay as you earn? So those are some of the things you can sit down with the requisite institutions and ask, if we did this, what is the impact? What's the cost? What's the benefit? Would this work? If we revamped, if we reassessed value-added tax from 17% to say 10%, what's the impact? If you're going to give tax holidays to the mines, guess what? You might as well give tax holidays to our people. Please think about those things. Thank you.
Zulu, you can come in, and then by Kalonde, you can come in.
Okay. It was just a quick addition where he was talking about the taxes. I'll give an example, especially in the car industry and the fuel industry. These are the things that I'm familiar with, and I can talk about what I know. Namibia and Mozambique, Malawi, when you are buying a vehicle that is less than 2 years, you are bringing it in the country almost on a 0 rate. Our country I'll give an example on a 2023 Range Rover Sport from South Africa is costing around 3 million, between 2.5 to 3 million rand, which is between 3 million to 4 million kwacha. You come and pay duty on such a vehicle, 1.5. Is that not madness? And you expect how many people to bring such vehicles? Because if you want to earn more, the cheaper the things, the more sales. That's what I know. And if you make your duty that high, and this is one thing again that even allows our people to do corruption, to bring in things back door. How can I pay 1.3 for a car? 1.5. So these are the points that you noted, and they're very, very true. And if I'm a company, I have to pay that 1.3, which is non-refundable. You can't claim it after you sell or anywhere for duty. When you are selling, you are selling on VAT again, you need to submit your VAT. Same with, I'll talk about also road tax and toll gates. We are paying twice on something. I'm paying toll gate, and again I'm paying a road tax, which is another thing that government needs to look into and adjust. Secondly, let me talk about the fuel. Do you know that these businessmen who deal in fuel get less than what government gets on a liter of fuel? I'll read through because I have a paper with me right now. From the time you buy your fuel, you start getting the pinch from the government. Once you reach the border, they will start requesting you to pay excise duty. Excise duty is about 66 ngwe per liter. Those who have pens, you can write. ERB fees is 13 ngwe per liter. I won't count marking fee because this one is a certain company that does that. Tazama is a government issue. If you have got hospitality with them, they will charge you 10 ngwe per liter. I will also read the strategic reserve fund. This goes to government as well. You are charged 15 ngwe per liter. Then we come to the
what did you say? What did you say? Strategic reserve fund?
Yeah, strategic reserve funds.
Do we have that fund in Zambia?
I don't even know it's under the OMCs. They have to submit that.
How much is in that reserve so far?
You are charged 15 ngwe per liter. And then we come to the main one, which is the VAT. You are charged almost 3 kwacha, 2.92. You count what is the government taking from a liter of fuel and what you make. The maximum you can make maybe is 2 kwacha. The government is getting 7 or 8 kwacha. And you are crying about fuel prices?
Okay, I wanted to say something. I wanted to say something, Zook, before I forget, in terms of the toll roads, actually. I was very disappointed that people pay as much as they pay for toll roads. A vehicle that is passing on that toll road coming from Lusaka, getting all the way to Kitwe, will pay how much on that road? Those roads were constructed with the Zambian taxes. And the taxpayers, those people who pay for their vehicles, and we even pay for our usual taxes. I don't know if it's 200 kwacha they pay the truckers or if it's 500 kwacha. Somebody who's carrying minerals and damaging the road all the way from Lusaka to I don't know, I'm not going to count the roads in Zimbabwe or Botswana, wherever they are passing to South Africa. I'll just count the damaging of the roads on Zambian side. They are paying the little that they pay, and the goods that they are carrying are weighing astronomical weight, damaging the road. And then they are paying 500 kwacha at the toll gate. They are making a profit of the goods that they are carrying in millions of dollars, not in kwacha, in millions of dollars. Meanwhile, they are leaving a damage behind of the roads. I don't know supposed to be paying those toll gate taxes if Zambians are supposed to pay that. I would increase on those trackers at least the numbers or percentages that Wazuko was mentioning in terms of gas. But on those toll gates, those trackers must pay more. More. A lot of money goes to our maintenance of our roads. We have to reconstruct that road. Totally reconstructing the road. There is no repair on that road at all. But who's going to pay for that road? The Zambian children, our grandchildren are going to pay for that road. Meanwhile, the truckers will be passing with minerals worth billions of dollars, and Zambians are suffering, paying for those roads. Unfair. We have to wake up our people in Zambia for them to understand that those roads are theirs. I know we pay for toll gates here. We pay for some roads, but those are private roads. The road that was constructed with my taxes, or if they want to charge me for the bridge, they tell us that this bridge is constructed by this city, and the city wants to at least pay back the money they've borrowed to construct the bridge, because the taxes that we paid was not enough. And at the same time, if we have to increase the taxes for you guys to pay for the road, they are going to, those who are passing through that road will pay for that road, not every taxpayer. But what we are doing in Zambia, taxing a small car that is carrying family members for a funeral. But if Kurusaka, but they put toll gates on the road that they have paid already. But the trucker was carrying billions of dollars on his truck. He's paying almost the same with them. That is theft. We are stealing from the children of Zambia. I'm telling you, that must change. Gule Nindarama, Shabalama truckers, let them pay more. Let Zambians pass on those toll roads free. I'm telling you, it's their road. That road was constructed by Phoenix. I do remember. Chuba did not put toll gates on those roads. Why are we doing this to people of Zambia? Why are we doing this to the people of Zambia? Do we hate our own people? Nimsa ndeti tumbikun mamoto kande toala tiyo tuyeshikira kukitwe ati uleri pira pageti. Tama kwa teoluse. Let's start thinking about our own people. Let them enjoy being citizens of that country. Not to buy wale miweva fe mule pita mule sansamuka mwaya mukulioko na basungu na muikara mwalia mule wala futi wale miweva. Benata balile. Unfair. Therefore running a chalo. Thank you.
So thank you. I think let us close. We can all have our last remarks. So tomorrow we can come live exactly 21 hours because we are just going to use this Zoom interface, no interruption. So we lost, I know a lot of people, they were eager to watch us and we lost the connection. We lost the viewers because we were struggling to, find a plan B to come live. But thank God we still managed despite the glitches that we had. So we are just going to close, and when I close, we can stay behind. I'm just going to end the live on Facebook, but let's just stay in the meeting, dear panel. But yeah, we have a lot today. We kind of like scrambling because of all the glitches we had. But tomorrow, I promise you, we'll be more organized. We'll be on time. 21 hours sharp will be live. I think the weekend is better because we have more time. And then in the week, we'll be coming as a, we'll try to stay on point and check everything that is happening. So in closing, I just want to say that the president is traveling to Germany and Italy on business, and it's 62 trips counting. I think this is 63 trips counting with nothing to show. It's just a lot to take in, that we have a president who is globetrotting with his literary business partners. We don't get a statement from his trips when he comes back. We have nothing to show. The economy is just spiraling to the deepest, to the worst place Zambia has been in. Literally, people are struggling to survive. And if you're a well-meaning Zambian, you better start talking and asking this government to do the right thing by the people, deliver their promises. So with that, I will end here. Bazulu, you can come next. Then Chimba, and then Doctor, Professor, you can close for us.
Thank you, Mama. I think I won't have much to say. I'll just say out of 62 or 63, ubunga bwafika by 300.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tulimuma problem. I've never seen a president ever since I was born who has traveled this much. Never. And I'm not surprised so much because that we are breaking records since independence. I'm sure they have broken the record. And we don't know, maybe Kambo Kuchitika. I think Chimba, you can pick it up for me. I'm a frustration. Kunonembo iredi la fiane sarapansa.
Mazulu ine folk sekapamba live broadcast.
Bazuru muneni panse ni wakabola bali panse tensala iredi.
Sakuri amaraiti. Kayala isa.
Not shedding yadi
Tomba imbota ile mona.
Iretina.
Shock. It's like, what the hell is going on?
Mazulu ine folk sekapamba live broadcast number 1 second.
The economy is biting.
We hope the police won't visit you, my brother. Let me put in my last remarks. I'm going to talk directly to the president. Mr. President, Your Excellency, Hakainde Ichlem, on August 12, 2021, the majority of Zambian voters expressed their desire to be led by you in a free and fair election. In that desire, they saw a man who would redeem them from the shackles of cadreism, police brutality, and economic malaise. They voted in numbers, expressing a fresh breath of hope that the fortunes of a well-endowed country would bear fruit. More than 2 years later, the Zambians are crying. They are hopeless and helpless. The kind of economic transformation they hoped you would bring has failed them. Today, our people are worse off than they were in a government you called a clique of thieves. With the abundance of cadre brutality, economic and financial mismanagement, the people could at least afford a bag of mealie meal. Mr. President, this country is endowed with natural resources by their creator. Natural resources which must be harnessed and preserved for the great people of this nation. Under your leadership, the Zambians hoped that you would do things differently and ensure to the letter that the mineral wealth that the country possesses will bring about economic progress and foster a path of wealth for our people. Please reassess your government's decision to give tax holidays to those foreigners. Mr. President, individually, look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what legacy will I leave when all is said and done? God bless you, Mr. President, and God bless the people of the Republic of Zambia. Thank you.
Yes, I'll start with one thing. The Zambian people, I'm adding to both Zook and what Chimba said. The people of Zambia said Barry will fix it. Again, Barry will fix it. Zambians did not say Barry will fix us. Please, Mr. President, stop fixing the people of Zambia. Fix the economy. Fix the police brutality. Let it end. Fix the roads. Fix unemployment. Fix the hospitals and the medicines. Mr. President, we supported you for some reason. As I had mentioned yesterday, most of us did not have a reason to support you. Most of us were not looking for jobs from your office. But we saw what Shimbaz mentioned, cadreism, and failure to manage his team, Walungu. That's what I stood on and said, no, this is not what I want for my country, Zambia. So, Mr. President and the people of Zambia, I think we should reevaluate our positions. We should think if Barry Wafilo fix, we should start thinking of alternative paths to go or to forge ahead. Mr. President, someone here mentioned about your trips. Mr. President, how many trips does our president here in the US make per year? He has his own plane to fly around. How many trips does he make per year? King Charles in England, how many trips does he make per year? Please, you are not solving the world problems. You are trying to solve Zambian problems. The two folk that solve problem yamung and damovoya manamuriba neba. Moya imanina. That's not how you solve problems. I'll repeat something that I mentioned yesterday. Again, I'll ask you, Mr. President, to fire the Minister of Education for insulting the Lopla people. It hurts. I'm still hurting. that we were insulted like that, and you have kept quiet. Luapula people are not stupid. We've done a lot for that country, just like any other part of Zambia. But please fire that minister. Or let him do what Kambwili did when he called Southern Province as Banstans. Let that guy go to Luapula and apologize to the people of Luapula for insulting us. It hurts that I'm from there and I'm being insulted. But it's not hate, it doesn't hurt me because I'm from Luapula. It hurts me because I'm being insulted for being from there. I want him to apologize right now. And you, Mr. President, you must do that. You must make sure that he does that. If not, Mr. President, please leave Luapula alone. Even the switch light you're getting from Luapula, stop taking it. That is our soil, Turifipuva. Stop taking the minerals from Luapula. It hurts. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So we're here tomorrow. I think tomorrow we'll talk about the hot topic. And the hot topic that is there is the amendments to the Constitution. There is a request there, and we shall research and due diligence debate on this topic tomorrow. I have received the word that the page is blocked. Most people can't see it. So try to come in live, look for my page and follow back the page. I will also post the link. So invite many people as possible and share in the WhatsApp group. We need to be a voice for the Zambian people who are oppressed, scared for their jobs, for their lives, scared for their jobs, you know. Some of us, God has placed us here for a reason, you know. That's why I take advantage of my presence in a land where a police officer can't knock at my door for expressing my view. So if you are in diaspora, join the team, you know. There is power in numbers. Let's join our voices and condemn these people for trying. They are just damaging our countries like reckless behavior. For a lack of a better word, I can just say their behavior is reckless, you know, and it is so sad. Because I campaigned for them. I'm like, oh my God, what? And the babana bobe baba send to be slaves. And you can't do nothing about it, except in this case, we can do something. So we see you tomorrow, guys, 21 hours. Bazulu, you had something to say before I shut down?
Yeah, before you shut down, Mama, I want to make a clarion call to you people in the diaspora. You hear me today talk here, tomorrow you might hear me in prison. Please, we are asking you, don't go back, move forward. Speak for us. You are the only hope. You saw what happened last week where we had about 4 people who speak for us were in custody. So if they can be in custody, who are we? So please, if you don't see us here, it means we are scared. But even though they come for us, one day we'll speak. Please don't fall back. Speak for Zambia. Thank you.
Bazulu, we are a family. If you don't mind, share your phone number with Madam Pumi. We will keep your contact information. If anything like that happens, we will be there to help you, my brother. Tatule tuko muntu, tulelanda fye chintu chishinka. Tulewomfya birthright Yesu. Ukweba ati ifimuleluba. Na pano pasho, we have made suggestions of the things that they can do differently. Because if they succeed, we succeed. That's our interest. regardless of our political persuasions. If wena ngutwinga support echipani chimonga cha rufyanya kucheba tinamu rufyanya, because our love is for the country and not chipani. Go hug a transformer if you want.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. Tomorrow will be sharp, 21 hours, because we figured out how to do it. But you know what? We are here. We'll be talking. God bless you. God bless Zambia. I love you all. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.